Hey everybody, happy weekend. Sunday evening. If I didn't know any better, I would think we're in spring. It's only, what, January 11th? 12th? I just made a bouquet. We pruned our fruit trees and I took some of the branches that are just budding up and I put them in some water, and we actually had some yarrow and lavender, if you can believe it, blooming. And so I cut some of those because we are going to get a freeze this week. That I cut some of those and put them in a little vase, and I'm doing a little experiment to see if the fruit tree buds will actually bloom, if I can force them to bloom. So what you're looking at right now is our front yard. So there's our house. And I'm working on adding dry creek beds to the properties. Well, at least in the front yard. So the original owners put in these little dry beds with some gravel, and I am just trying to use the materials that we already have. So you really can go anywhere on our property and dig a hole, and you will hit rocks and stones. So I'm just going to use the materials that we already have. And I decided, I went back and forth, like, do I try to reseed grass in this area? Do I just embrace the moss, which is very typical in the Pacific Northwest, or at least in this area? And I decided that I'm just going to embrace the moss, and I'm going to plant beds as I go. You can see that I did have a bed right there, and then I lived with it for a few months and decided that it was kind of breaking up the flow, like having it right there. So I don't know, I may go back later and make it a bed again, but I took the ferns out of the bed. I also had a sundial, and I transplanted the ferns right here along the creek bed. So one of them is planted. I need to get the other two in the ground. But yeah, I have, what do I have in here? I have a, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but this is a Showanosake camellia. So it's a sasanqua. It blooms in the fall. I have some autumn brilliance ferns. I love these because they still do well in the winter. Then you can't really see it too well right now, but I have a Skeeter's broom, Japanese maple, some, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, a Honorine Jobert, anemones that bloom in the fall. I have a, I think it's a Purity Pieris. I have some Astilbe, this is all over there, some perennial geranium, Roseanne geranium, it's a nice little ground cover. And then in my window boxes, I have the 3 little winter gem boxwood spheres, and then I love cyclamen and I love the pop of red. It never does very well for us, but I have those in there. And I mean, it looks pretty for a couple weeks and then they're just kind of done. This is a big rhododendron that was here. It was planted by the previous owners. We had another one right here, but it was actually taller than this window, and I didn't want anything blocking the house, so we took that out. But yeah, just a plethora of some things in here. I think this is an example of why you want to think about winter interest when you're planting. I know that for me, when I am first starting a new bed, I think about winter interest because I want my garden to look good all seasons, but particularly in the winter. So there's our Monrovia autolichen laurel, English laurel. It's setting its buds for its flowers in the spring, and just very excited. I've got some moss growing between the stepstones. I also have some ajuga. It's obviously not in bloom right now, but it gets the most beautiful purple flowers. And yeah, I just, like I said, was going back and forth. What am I going to do in the front yard? I want people to be able to see the house. I don't want to like block the house. I love our house. And so I just decided to carry on with the dry creek beds. So you can see the start of some over there around the rhododendrons. We're also going to limb up these Doug firs to let in more light. So anyway, hope everyone is having a great Sunday. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you have a good week, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.